All right. Sorry, guys. I was trying to turn that AC off so we don't have background noise. Okay, guys, listen. This video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the supernatural stuff that was documented. Okay, do you remember on the way to the event, the Lord told me I had to go by the Lamb's house in Las Vegas and lay hands on Jorrie and Thomas Lamb. That was a direct order. You must go there before you go to Grand Junction. So that was a big loop out of my way. Driving from San Antonio to Grand Junction is a pretty straight shot. To go to Las Vegas first, the Lord told me to go to Phoenix, then go to Las Vegas, and then go to Grand Junction. He told me I had to go by the Lamb's house. This is all documented. And now this is after the fact. So now you can see absolutely the Lord was in everything. So he told me I had to go by their house and lay hands on Jorrie Lamb. Not to meet at a restaurant, not to go out to eat, but to go to their house. So, it was a little bit awkward saying, hey, is it okay if I just come by your house? And they were very gracious people and they said no problem. And so I went by their house and we had a wonderful time. My body was just buzzing the entire time. And the Lord told me to lay Jorrie Lamb down and to lay her head over the edge of a bed. So her head was upside down basically. So she lay down on the edge of on the bed and we laid her head over the edge to where her head was hanging over in an upside down position. Her husband sat right next to me, and as I sat there and I prayed, the Lord had me lay hands on both of them. And I could feel just the energy coursing through my arms. I just was like, wow. And so anyway, I told him, I said, it may require a step of faith on your part, but something's going to happen here. Not only was the arrival at their house one of the most supernatural, crazy things as a testimony, because I was going to the Lamb's house, and to enter the gates, just think of the gates of heaven opening. To enter the gates, I had to have a code, and that code they told me it was okay for me to tell the general public what the code was. It was 2626, and the Lord told me, look up the biblical meaning of 2626. And it means mighty in strength and chosen. And so to enter the gates, the code was mighty and in strength and chosen to enter into Kingsbrook Court, like Revelation 22. And there was a river, like brook, river of life, the Kingsbrook Court, to go to the Lamb's house. Well, Tom Lamb, I didn't really ever realize that the name Thomas meant twin. So to the twin lamb house. Okay, remember, we're in this system where we're right side up, upside down. There's a good you, there's a bad you, there's a double you. Your eye is not single, your eye is double. You have one good, one bad. That's why the Bible says if your eye be single, your whole body's full of light. Well, that means one of them gets converted. And so think about that. If you're sheep and goat, well, if the other one gets converted, then you do become like a twin lamb. Instead of sheep and goat, good you, bad you, double you get made whole and your eye becomes single. Wow. So to enter in to Kingsbrook Court to the twin lamb house required mighty and chosen. Just think about that. If that's not enough of a message to just blow your mind. And even the Lord told me I'd already left their house. I hadn't put it all together. I was just like, oh, that was so wild. And I'm driving down the road leaving Las Vegas. And the Lord says, you need to go back and videotape the gate opening. And I was like, why? You missed the point. I'm like, and all of a sudden I put it all together. I'm like, oh. So I turn around. I drive many miles back and I videotaped. And I asked the lambs, I said, is it okay if I videotape the gate opening and the gate code and all that? And they said it was no problem. So I did. So I laid hands on them. I had the lambs call me the other day. I'm going to call them right now, and we're going to do a testimony on this phone, and I'm going to document what happened in their lives with the laying on of hands. Now, Jorrie Lamb has a type of blindness where her eyes, she loses vision. It gets darker and darker. One eye is apparently already done, completely done, and the other eye is on its way out, just getting darker and darker. And she goes to the her eye doctor, and they typically will give her an injection in her eyeball. Ugh. And apparently, from what I understand from the conversation, I'll bring this up, that her doctor's kind of like, I'm not going to use the word sadistic, but he says like, don't think you're going anywhere until you get your shot. You're going to get your shot, so just, kind of like. So anyway, that's how he is. You're not going anywhere until you get your shot in her eyeball. So anyway, and she's never had the doctor say, your eye is healing. Never. Not since she's been going since 2010. This trip was much different to the doctor. Then Tom went to the doctor. He's got Parkinson's. So Tom went to his doctor after I left. They did blood work, stool samples, urine samples, and EKGs and all that. And the doctor came in and said, my goodness, your everything looks fantastic. I wish I was in as good a shape as you are. So I've already talked to them, and they've given me this whole testimony. But I'm going to call them up on the phone right now, and I'm gonna have them give their testimony. Then I'm going to add this video to the miracles that happened driving home. I just want to prep you. I told Siri plot a course to San Antonio from Grand Junction. Guys, I was taking on the most beautiful drive I've ever seen in Colorado. I was going on rural Route 1, Highway 69. I was going on highways I didn't even know the name of. I used to live in Aspen, Colorado. I've never even seen these highways. It was stunning. And then the Lord took me the back roads in Texas, and my phone just was plotting the course through these little 2-lane backcountry roads. And guess what? The Lord took me to a place called Eden. Yeah, like the Garden of Eden. I was like, what the heck? I'm going to, and I heard the Lord say, document it. I had Kat on the phone. It said Eden so many miles. The Lord told me to photograph it, and I'm like, next sign says Eden 21 miles. And so I had my phone up, and I clicked, and the Lord said, look up the meaning of 21. Then he said, do not go into Eden until you stop your vehicle and document yourself in front of the sign of Eden, Texas. So stop your vehicle, pull over, and take a picture in front of the sign that's the Eden city limit. I was like, and I was sitting there speculating, go, wow, I wonder if it's going to say, welcome back to Eden, I was just like, weird. Wait till you see the testimony. I'm going to do that after the lambs. I'm going to call the lambs right now. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Let's call the lambs up so you can see Tom and Jorrie Lamb, Las Vegas.
Hello.
Hey, Jorrie. Okay, I got everything working. We're all good. We're all set to go. Okay, is Tom on the phone as well?
He sure is.
Okay, good. All right. So anyway, I kind of preempted. I'm just starting a little screencast-o-matic. We're not live or anything, so I'm just kind of documenting. So anyway, let's just talk real quick about. Let's talk about I showed up to Las Vegas, and you guys were gracious enough to let me come to your house. I want to establish a record, so I'm going to just ask some questions. It is true that you guys had offered to take me to lunch and take me out when I came to Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, but we were very disappointed. You couldn't eat.
Right, and I told you, well, the Lord told me He wanted me to come by your house if that was okay. Is that true?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, that it was imperative that I go to your house and not to go out to eat, but to meet y'all at your house. I told you guys that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And so anyway, I showed up and we hung out a little bit and talked a little bit, and then I told you, I'm here to lay hands on you, and but the Lord kept impressing upon me that He wanted you to lay down and lay your head over the edge of the bed or the sofa, but your head kind of in a upside down position. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then so we did that. We got comfortable and we got you in that position. And Tom was sitting next to me. And as we began, I read Isaiah 29. And then the Lord told me, go ahead and lay hands on both y'all. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay, so at that point, I laid hands on both you guys, and I told y'all my entire body was buzzing, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I said, "Oh no," I could feel the Holy Spirit here so pervasively that He's going to do something. I don't know what, but He's going to do something. It may require a step of faith on your part, but the Holy Spirit was just extremely strong, manifesting. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Yes.
You're right. Okay. Okay. So now I'm gonna just kind of cut you guys loose. So Jorrie, why don't you just like give a little testimony of, before you went to the doctor, Hebrews 11 and that whole thing, and just kind of give us a little story.
Sorry, chunk in my throat. Okay, well, you came on the 2nd. And I'd had a retinologist appointment for that day, but I canceled it because you're here, and it was rescheduled then for the 9th, the following Tuesday. So that whole week, I didn't see any changes in my vision, and I was starting to get a little bit down. I didn't want it to get to me,
Sure.
how you get. And
Yeah.
I was kind of blaming myself. I didn't know, all kinds of stuff. So, but I was trying, and so Tuesday morning it was the appointment, and I was still a little bit down. And I always get up much earlier than Tom, and I do my Bible reading and just stuff I got to do around the house. So anyway, I'd already done Bible reading, but I got to see your video cast. I got to see it, and
The one the one where I let Max McLean read Hebrews 11. That one.
that one.
Okay.
And I was thinking, yeah, I should. I followed along, and I was really, for lack of better words, not that articulate, but I was really into it.
Yeah.
So I read it by myself, and as I read it prayerfully, and I've always been able to memorize the, verse 1, but I kind of just sort of ignored verse 2, and it's now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And then this time I thought, now this is going in. I read it over and over. I read, for by it the elders obtained a good report. I thought, that's not so hard. There it is. I want it. It's in.
Got it.
And when Tom got up, we have a little morning routine. I'm going to eat breakfast. And he always says the prayer, says grace. So we were sitting there, and he was saying grace, and he prayed regarding our upcoming visit to the retinologist, and he asked that we would receive, and I quote, a good report.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I know, and I don't like to be rude during prayers, but it was big old wow, and just hitting a sigh,
Sure, because you had just read good report yourself and made yourself memorize it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was heartened, but nonetheless, all the way to the retinologist and in the office, I was aware that I really wasn't seeing very great, and I was really kind of sad. And I think this is significant that I thought, I don't know, and then I was thinking, this happens, you never know. Let's trust God. On and on. Okay, so I got the eye chart test before you see the doctor. You see a sequence of people, and they give you the eye chart, and I did very poorly. Just for the record, all of the emphasis is on my left eye because I have only some peripheral in my right eye, so the left eye's doing all the work. And
Okay.
I've done times where I've really done 20/20. I based the eye chart, not this time. I don't know what it was, but it was bad. And I was just pretty down about it. So then they dilate the eyes, and you have to sit there a long time. And then they take the pictures of your eyes. It's amazing, inside the eyeball and all of that. And so finally got to see the doctor, and Tom and I had agreed, we're not going to say anything about Jonathan to the doctor. And we were kind of like poker-faced, and he's always the same. The doctor's the same, and we really like him. He's not jovial, he's just really pleasant, and he was really pleasant, as always. So then he looked into my eyes with that light that's so blinding. I know it causes damage, honestly.
Right. Hey, let me jump in real quick on a footnote. But you had told me the doctor, he's kind of all about business. He's like says like don't try and go anywhere because you're gonna get your shot, right?
I did forget that. I'm sorry. When the visit prior to that, he was very concerned about my eyes. I got a shot that time, and he said, come in about 4 weeks and expect a shot. And then when we came in that day, the girl is reading his notes, and she's saying, sign here because you're no doubt going to get a shot, obviously. Yeah.
Right. So you're going to get a shot in your eye today no matter what.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I haven't done well on the eye chart, on and on. So we're sitting there, and he's looking, and he says, I'm sorry. So, okay, he was looking, and he said this before at times. It's always a relief. He said, I don't see any bleeding. There's no bleeding. But then he said something that he's never said before. And he said, and I quote, he used the word some healing, as in to say, I see some healing. And when he said it, he was just very serious, really serious.
So he said, but I see you're not going to get a shot. I don't see any bleeding, but I see some healing.
Right. Right. And he said, yeah, I'm not going to recommend a shot, but next time for sure. And it was almost like I was in trouble. He's almost pointing a finger in my face. You're getting one next time.
Yeah. So this is the first time you've ever been to the retinologist where he said he's seen some healing. Your eye is starting to heal.
Right, and he was, I made a note, he was uncharacteristically stern, while telling us this, but,
that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, he's a very warm man, but it was almost like he was mad at us.
He was mad. He was almost mad at, oh no, there goes one of my patients if her eye gets well.
Yeah, and he's just not a sadist or anything.
Yeah, okay, all right. All right, but he's pretty stern about you're going to get your shot when you're going to get your shot.
Yeah, the next time. So,
right.
I just nodded.
So if you had to characterize your report, what was it? A good report? Did you get?
It was overall a good report, but it's so odd. I didn't do well on the eye chart, and he always mentions it. I don't know. It was very, very unusual.
Yeah. Well, but again, it's the first time he said he sees your eye starting to heal or some healing occurring. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said some healing.
All right.
First time in 8 years.
First time in 8 years. Okay, there you go. So the first time in 8 years, he said he sees some healing. Awesome.
Yeah, it's the first time he's ever said it. We've been going to him for 8 years.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now let's move on to Tom. Tom, you had a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, I did the day before Jorrie's.
Okay, and so they did everything they do. They did blood, stool, urine, EKG, all that.
Oh, the whole show.
The whole show. And what is it? What is it that ails you that you're at the doctor for? I think you said Parkinson's, right?
No, MS.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Yeah,
have chronic,
I'm sorry.
chronic
Yeah, I got them mixed
progressive,
up. Multiple sclerosis, correct?
yeah, chronic progressive multiple sclerosis.
Chronic progressive MS. Okay,
Yeah.
so just give everybody just a little, thing what happened with you.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
That's
Sorry.
okay. We don't mind the dogs barking. So,
holy no.
that's all right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the dogs are barking or not. So you went in and they took all their samples and they got their blood and they got their urine stool and they did their EKG and then what was the result?
Uh, she said, "You are doing wonderfully." She said that I was doing better than she was, the doctor.
Yeah, so I think she said come in and said you're doing fantastic, right? Is that
Right.
the word you told me yesterday? I don't want to I never like to convolute or augment anything. But so the doctor came in after looking at all your stuff and said you're doing wonderfully or fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the result of your meeting was what kind of a report?
Mine was an excellent report.
A good report. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you believe that me stopping by Las Vegas and doing what the Lord told me to do had anything to do with your good report?
Yeah, I do. And for me, um, well, um, you laid hands on Jorrie, but then you laid hands on me, and
Yeah.
it's like overflow.
Right. Well,
It came over me too.
absolutely, because when I did it, I was like, wow, I'm going to lay hands on you too because the Lord's telling me to. And so right there with both y'all, I told you the Lord's telling me to lay hands on you too, correct?
Right.
And so y'all both got a good report from the doctor. Is that correct,
Oh yeah, we did.
Jory?
Yes,
And
yes, I'm
that's
back. Dog herding. I'm back.
oh yeah, you were dog. Okay, well that's it. I wanted to document it, and then I'm gonna add this to the little video I'm doing for everybody, so we can put it all together. Because again, the gate opening up. First of all, your street, Kingsbrook Court. I don't know if you saw the video, but Michael just got finished with his table that's made out of the heaven tree, and there's a brook running right down the center that lines up, that lights up, and it's all beautiful, and it's made from the
so
tree.
gorgeous.
It's made from the tree of heaven, and
Yeah.
and that's for in Revelation 22, and it says, and they were permitted to drink from the river of life, that runs through the middle. Uh, so anyway, just to enter into Kingsbrook Court and go to Tom and Jorrie Lamb's house, and Tom means twin, so it's twin lamb, because the man is the head of the house. It's just impossible. There's just no way. It was just unbelievable. And the gate code meant mighty and chosen. Does that all does that all sound about right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's Thomas.
Thomas,
Well,
right?
you're also Tom,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, but you guys, yeah, but no, he's correct. His name's Thomas, but yeah, but Thomas means twin lamb.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating because, until we get converted, we have eyes that are different. You have a good eye and a bad eye. And basically, we're a combination of sheep and goat, wheat and weed. And so when you get converted, you end up with two eyes that are the same, like twin lambs. Isn't
Yeah.
that just staggering? Now you know why the Lord told me I had to go by your house instead of meet you at a restaurant. But I did tell you that, correct? That the Lord told me I have to go to your house. Thanks for offering to take me to eat, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. We thought we could do both, but sure.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay, guys, that's Tom and Jorrie Lamb, and that's where I went before I went on to Grand Junction to the event, and I'm just documenting the results of going by their house. All right, Thomas and Jorrie, thank you. I'll drop in later today, guys. I'm gonna get all this documentation and show everybody what happened on the ride back, stopping in Eden. The Lord had
Boy,
me.
that's what you do. Is you help people open you open their eyes. That's yeah. I mean, and it's so obvious. Like in our case,
Yep.
it's just there. And I might tell one of the neighbors, and then I'm going to watch them just go. So that's what I'm going to watch. They're going to just go so and
Right. Well, it's hard. Well, just like the Bible says, again, everything's biblical. It says, "To you it has been given to understand the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. To them it has not been given." So they, if God hasn't given it to them, they'll never understand it. So,
yeah.
so
And
they're
that's a hard pill, isn't it?
it's a hard pill to
Hard.
swallow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very difficult because we want everyone to get it, but that's our heart. And but the Lord God's the one that made all these decisions before this ever got started. So there it is. All right, guys. Well, God bless you and thank you for letting me come by your house and having me as your
Oh,
guest. It was awesome.
the big thanks are ours to you, and thank you, Lord God, for Jonathan. Thank you.
Anyway, okay. Well, God bless you guys. All right, Thomas and Joy. I'll drop in later. Okay, guys.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye. Okay, so that was Thomas and Jory Lamb, and that's their testimony that they gave because that's what happened. I mean, that's just mind boggling. That's what happened. And so, just documenting it all, that this is what happened when I went by their house. I laid hands on both of them. The Lord told me to do it. I did a video up in Grand Junction that the Lord told me this whole Grand Junction event was about one thing: Hebrews 11 on faith. We are justified through faith. Look at the event. Look what's been going on in this ministry. I want you to convert this container, that container. I want you to, they ended up in Grand Junction. I want you to have an event, a getting together. I want you to put an X on your parachute, V for vengeance on your parachute, right side up, upside down. Now, I want to show you guys something. Right there in that window behind me. Let's see. Let's see. I can't. Let's see. The chairs are in the way. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Right there behind me. Let's see. I'll push this back. You see the V right there behind me? There's a right side up V and an upside down V. That is a plexiglass thing that the Lord told me to put there a long time ago. But the piece of artwork behind it is a piece of plexiglass, and I sprayed spray paint, and then I got my grinder and went zzz. So with a 7.5-inch grinder, I made an image of the back of my head looking at a girl in the Garden of Eden. So it's me and Eleuthera in the Garden of Eden, and the serpent is wrapped around the whole thing. Right there. That's what that is in that window right there. That's me and Lou in the Garden of Eden. And the Lord told me to put this plexiglass thing on top of it that says V for Vengeance. Did you know on the way home, my phone that I said plot a course to San Antonio from Grand Junction took me through Eden, Texas? You can't even think this stuff up. Took me through Eden, Texas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video right now, and I'm going to go get the data off my phone and the little videos, and I'm going to save them, and I'm going to add it to this and give you guys a testimony of the event, of going home and all that. And I'm going to put the whole skydive in there from other people's video cameras that were on the ground. And so I'm going to do a compilation video that's going to contain all this. But right now, I'm going to run this video by itself, but then I'm going to take this same video. I'm going to add all this stuff together. It'll be about a 2-hour video of documentation. Everything that's documented has turned out to be a miracle. All of it. Every bit of it. Every bit of Grand Junction was miraculous. All of it. There's so many miracles. There are so many testimonies. There are so many things. I mean, my testimony is only one. There's all these different people that had these unbelievable supernatural testimonies. And I want to thank you for coming, because now you are part of Hebrews 11 by faith. How are we justified by God? Through faith. Okay, so I'm gonna run this little segment right here. I'm gonna let this fly just so you can hear. I'm just checking in, and then I'm gonna take this video. I'm gonna take all these other videos. I'm gonna make a massive 2 hours of party, this, that, going up there, stopped and photographed this. Here I am coming into Eden, Texas. Y'all aren't going to believe the Eden testimony. You're not even going to believe it. But I documented it. And I have proof because before I even stopped there, the Lord told me, I want you to document, take your picture, photograph in front of the city limits of Eden. The moment you come into Eden, you have to. And I was like, okay, I even had Kat on the phone as a witness. And so I documented everything before it happened. I knew I was hearing the Lord tell me what to do. I said, this is what he's telling me to do. I documented it. And wait till you see the result of that. So praise God for Tom and Jorrie Lamb. They both got a good report. That's so awesome. She actually read good report before she went to the doctor. That's so awesome. So they both got a good report, and I'm sure those reports are just going to get better. Okay, praise God. All right, guys, all glory to God. It's not me. It's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, leading us. Those who are led by the Spirit of God are the sons of God. And that's what's up. That's what's going on here. I love you guys. Okay, enjoy the vid. And I'll put all this together for you in a big, giant Grand Junction party package. Okay, so cool. I love you guys. By the way, before I go, I just want to tell every one of you that I got to make eye contact with, I got to shake your hand. Thank you for all the hugs. It made my world. All the hugs made everything so tangible and so real. I was like, this is, it was so awesome, man. Thank you for my hugs, each one of you. Thank you for giving yourself to me in that way, and me being able to give myself to you in that way, to where we actually made physical contact and got to hug each other. That was awesome. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Y'all are my brothers and my sisters in Christ. We're of the same spirit. Isn't it cool? Wasn't that one heck of a revival, huh? I'll tell you what, the end is coming. I guarantee it. He's already communicated to me. This had to be done before the end. This is that work of faith that you had to get done before the end. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Again, wait till you see what happened at Eden. You're going to freak out. I've been freaking out. All right, guys. I love you guys. I'm going to let this one fly, and I'll see you guys on my next vid. Okay.